Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Aurora Esports Pokemon Season 5 draft. I'm joined here with Greg on the prod, and I'm really excited for this one. We have a whole new production look. If you guys are seeing the draft screen right now, this is all put together by Booney. Greg, how are you feeling? You've never done anything like this.
I'm feeling like I am gonna learn a lot about Pokemon tonight. So I'm not nearly as knowledgeable, but I do know how to use OBS. So I got that going for me, which is nice. But I am very interested to learn. TC's been teaching me in the lead up to this season, and I'm very excited to see what teams everyone puts together and start getting to crafting some narratives as we get into the season.
Yeah, I mean, we can just jump right into it. The first pick is through. So Koneko for the San Antonio Espers, they have the number 1 overall pick, and they've taken Urshifu Single Strike. This is a Mon that hits really, really, really hard. It's one of the most expensive in the entire thing at 18 points. Only a few Mons are more expensive at 19. And it's actually so strong that it's been nerfed in the upcoming Pokemon Champions, but we're not playing on that right now. We're still playing on the old patch. Its ability lets it ignore protects, so you can't like stall this thing out at all. Its signature move allows it to crit on every attack at incredibly high base power. This thing basically, it's just a menace, is what it is. It's a pretty good pick for the first overall. One thing I will say is second pick has been traded.
Really?
And we all knew what second pick was trading up to do. Trading up for second pick was Hara.
Okay.
And he was trading up to try and get Urshifu Single Strike. So he's not going to get it because it
Oh
went at number 1.
no.
But he is going to go in at number 2. And he's going to grab a new Mega. He's got Mega Starmie. This thing is maybe the best Mon available. I decided not to ban it because I wanted to let people try it out.
Okay.
But it is kind of stupidly strong. It's got a ability known as Huge Power, which doubles its attack stat. So basically, it just does
huge.
twice as much damage.
Yeah, like
what? They've done this before with some megas where they give it huge power. They've done it to Mega Medicham and Mega Mawile, but both of those have huge drawbacks. They're not very fast. Their attack stat isn't that high in the first place. However, Mega Starmie is really fast and bulky and has an excellent move pool and typing. So it's kind of just an upgraded version of those.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it feels weird having Starmie who I mean, isn't Starmie a psychic type Pokemon? Having Starmie just be a normal, like a physical attack monster like that is kind of crazy to me. But I mean, if you're doubling the attack stat, you're doubling the attack stat.
Yeah. So Para doesn't get the Mon he wants, but like he still ends up with one of the best ones in the entire thing. So coming in now at number 3, Cherry Mancake and the Rose Tower Caparaja, a new player to the league. They're going to take Chien Pao. This is also one of the hardest hitters. We've got 3 physical attackers going right away. Chien Pao is one of the newest legendaries, and its ability lowers the defense stat of all other Mons in play by 25%.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's. I mean, all other Mons is gonna be even more valuable in doubles, but even in singles, just like dropping that defense stat by that much is gonna do so much.
It's essentially a 33% damage increase, and that would be pretty good on its own. However, it also is incredibly fast and has a really high attack stat, so it hits roughly as hard as Mega Starmie and is even faster. It's faster than almost everything out there, which is why it's so good. It's one of our 19-point Pokemon.
Yeah.
So this is as expensive as you can get. We've got pick number 4 now. This is another new Mega, and I will say I don't actually know really what this thing does. This is Mega Glimora.
Ooh.
So Glimora is a mon that normally is kind of, it has a gimmick where it can set up toxic spikes with its ability. Now, Mega Glimora, on the other hand, retains kind of the same typing and everything, but it loses its ability and instead just becomes this like cannon. It's not even a glass cannon because it has good bulk. It's just a cannon. It has 150 special attack.
That's disgusting.
The nice thing about this is this doesn't cost 19 points like the other ones do. This is only 16.
Yeah, that's going to leave a lot more open for later rounds in the draft. So potentially, you know, don't have to dig as deep for, you know, your last couple of mons if you're going a little cheaper here.
Next pick, Muffin Lumps / War with the conditional cast form. If you have talked to him, you know what he's doing. He's going to pick up Pelipper. 12-point Mon, but it sets weather, and those are rare.
Pelipper's one of my favorite Pokemon, just like in the like normal Pokemon playthroughs. So I love the fact that Pelipper's also like good in competitive Pokemon and has a use. Even if like, and setting weather can do so much for your team if you can build the rest of your team around it. So picking Pelipper early and trying to set up for that feels like it makes a lot of sense.
So Pelipper, Weather Setter on switch in, summons Rain. I think you can guess probably what he's going to do with that. You'd be wrong. Next pick coming in, Mega Delphox. This is a mon I'm excited for. I think it has a cool design. I like Delphox normally, but the new Mega gives it Levitate while kind of keeping what it does the same, but it can now dodge ground type attacks, which is actually really valuable because it's weak to them. And it doesn't have good physical bulk. So being able to dodge things like Earthquake is really, really important, because it basically means it doesn't lose that matchup anymore.
That's pretty huge. I mean, just taking out one of your biggest weaknesses, saying, nah, I'm good.
It's really, really fast too. It has 134 speed, which I believe, let me take a look here, is only like 1 slower than something like a Chien Pao. So it's going to outspeed almost everything, and its special attack is almost 160. So this is another one of those, I think this is a 19-point mon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. But I mean, if you're that fast, you hit that hard, and you're dodging your biggest type weakness, it gets a little, like, you can see why it's worth 19.
Yeah. Up next, pick 7, we have Nolly, who traded down with the Tyrannical Togepi. So now they get their first round pick. They pick Tapu Lele, which is a mon that kind of signals what you're doing with your team because it sets Psychic Terrain, and that lets you kind of build a team around it. So each of the Tapus set their own terrain. Psychic Terrain can be one of the better ones because it lets Psychic type moves do more damage, and it prevents Pokemon from using priority moves.
Yeah, I mean, shutting down priority moves sounds incredibly powerful to me, just like guaranteeing that if you've got that better speed stat, you're gonna be getting in your attacks. And I mean, Tapu Lele's speed, if I'm seeing correctly, 95 isn't the craziest number out there, but you know, you can get some other Pokemon with some crazy speed, make sure you're always getting your attacks in around that. It's just fast enough too where you can put a Scarf on it and it will outspeed pretty much everything. So if you need it to outspeed something, it probably can. Ah, good
However, a lot
calls.
of people just choose to put a choice specs on it and make it do more damage, um, and just say, I'm gonna blow up what's in front of me in one shot because it's strong enough with the terrain up because it makes psychic type moves do 30% more damage. That if you give it another 50% power boost, which stacks multiplicatively, it's just gonna erase everything in front of it.
Yeah, that's stacking multiplicatively is crazy on that.
So we got next pick. We have Swifters, captain of Bulbasun. I like the name. He's got Great Tusk. Great Tusk is a Pokemon that is really easy to build around. Because it basically fulfills a team niche that everyone likes. In that it's a rapid spinner and a stealth rock setter. So you basically don't have to worry about it for the rest of the game. You can just lead with this guy, put up your own stealth rocks while spinning away theirs, and it has great stats. It's super, super easy to build around. The last time I did a competitive draft, I took this guy second overall. So the fact that it fell all the way to 9 or 8, pick 8.
Yeah, 8 here.
Really nice, right? It's 18 points. It's one of the more expensive ones, but it's one of just the best overall utility and even hitting like a truck and taking hits. It does it all. Next up, we have the Goobier Mega Golurk from Skycer, who are going to take Ogerpon, the base form.
It does feel unfair that War is not able to get Ogerpon when War named his Aurora Overwatch team after the Ogerpon, but still.
Yeah, War always either names his team after the Ogerpon. His Aurora team is named after it in Overwatch, but he's not doing this one. He's in the doubles. I guess he's helping Muffin in singles here, but he's in the doubles, and Ogerpon is free to take here.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of War and Muffins as a team, yeah. But yeah, but what do we like about the Ogerpon pick here though?
It's fast, and it's got a good moveset. It has a good signature move called Ivy Cudgel, which has high base power and a chance to crit.
Oh, nice.
So it can sometimes just kind of break through things who have set up defensively because crits ignore that.
Yeah, and when you're getting that high base damage and that crit off when you already have a pretty nice attack stat from Ogerpon, that's gonna do a pretty hefty amount of damage there.
I think the next pick is Nash with the Iceland Impidimp 2. Or just the Iceland Impidimp. He didn't put a 2 in front of it. He's running it back. I think his pick got stolen, so he's trying to figure out what he's doing. Pick is in. It's King Gambit.
Oh.
For those of you who have not played this generation, King Gambit was just introduced, and it is one of the most annoying things of all time.
Yeah.
Basically, it has an ability where the more Pokemon on your team that have fainted, the more damage it does. Each Mon is an additional 10%. So if it's the last thing in play, it deals 50% more damage. It's also got a really good typing and really good stats, and access to Sucker Punch with a stab bonus. So it does extra damage with Sucker Punch, which ends up meaning that once King Gambit's in play as the last Mon, the game comes down to a bunch of mind games. If you click an attacking move and they go for Sucker Punch, it turns into a priority move and hits you. If you don't, Sucker Punch doesn't hit at all, but he could have selected a non-Sucker Punch move, and it makes it really awful to play through. And if you guess wrong, it can click Sword Stance, and then you just lose.
Ooh,
so it's really annoying to play against because it can get into situations where you've all but won, and then you just lose to the King Gambit in the back.
All right, there's that pick in on the draft board as well. And yeah, I mean, having that priority potential with the Sucker Punch to get around that relatively low base speed just is so brutal when you combine it with the fact that, I mean, it's just gonna one shot you if it gets the priority off after after the sword stance. So
Yeah. Okay, we have the next couple picks in. We got Mega Star Raptor from Samurott Darnold, captained by Panini and TC. Mega Star Raptor, we kind of knew they wanted it. They were talking about how they were excited to use it, so no surprise here that it ended up going to them. It gets access to Contrary, which is one of the best abilities, meaning if a stat would be lowered, it gets raised instead. And it gets access to Close Combat. So the drawback with Close Combat is after you use it, your defense is lower. But now you're going to click Close Combat and your defenses are going to raise, and it gets access to Healing through Roost. So it's going to hit really hard, and while doing so, it's going to raise its own defenses and be able to heal it off. So it's really fast and really strong, and normally the drawback to that is, well, you're going to be frail. But if it gets going, it's not going to be frail. It's actually going to be really, really strong and really annoying.
Yeah, that's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. It's probably the new best Contrary mon to hit the game.
Yeah, and Contrary.
There's a couple others, and they always try to keep them not super powerful because it can spiral out of control really fast.
Yeah, I mean, because Contrary just sounds really good. Like, just being able to say no thank you to any potential stat debuffs is such a nice option.
So we got the wheel picks now. So we have Mega Tyranitar followed by Gliscor from Shagster99, who does not have a team name yet. So they're just Shagster.
Now, I do see Shagster in the Twitch chat has claimed to have a team name, but I do not see what that team name is anywhere.
Huh.
So,
well, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, supposedly there is one.
Mega Tyranitar and Gliscor. So it looks like he's going for a sand team. Mega Tyranitar is a sand setter. It's basically just got really good stats all around. And then it can set up and try to sweep with a Dragon Dance. And then Gliscor is basically this physical wall that has access to Poison Heal, which means you make it hold a toxic orb to poison itself. And instead of doing damage to it, it heals an eighth of its HP every turn, which adds up really, really fast because it also has a very excellent defensive typing. And so it just basically shrugs off all damage while healing it back up over time. So next up, TC has taken Ting Lu. So Ting Lu is kind of similar to Qian Pao in that it lowers a stat of everything in play, except this one is opposing special attack. So, or not just opposing, everything besides Ting Lu gets lower special attack, so it takes less damage from special attack moves, meaning it's basically a 33% bonus to its special defense. On top of that, it's got really, really high base defense and HP.
Yeah.
So it's just this thing that sits there, and what it does is it sends out stealth rocks and spikes, and then it starts clicking phasing moves, which means it forces the opponent to switch. So they can never set up on it, and they keep taking the chip damage from the rocks that it's set up in play every time they get forced in.
And it's just gonna be crazy hard to kill between that ability and how good its HP and defense stats both are. So you're gonna be sitting on that for a long time, trying to getting switched into the stealth rock, unable to chew through the defenses on the Ting Lu.
Yep. Next up we have Latios. This is just a reliable, fast mon. It does a lot of damage, and it has a really good base stat total. It's good speed. It's also got bulk. It can set up. It doesn't have really a big downside to it. It's just good at whatever you need it to do. It can be a pivot mon. It can be a setup sweeper. it can even kind of be a defensive mon. So it's just good all around. It'll fit into any team comp. So I like the pick.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a balanced stat block with a big stat total behind it. So there's just no going wrong with that.
So then next up we have a new Mega. Mega Dragalge. So this thing has Regenerator, which means every time it switches out, it regains a third of its health. It's really slow. However, to compensate for that, it has insane defenses and special attack. So it's basically always going to go second, but it's going to be able to absorb hits and then switch out. So it's going to come in, probably click Draco Meteor. It doesn't care about lowering its special attack stages afterward because it will then switch out and reset them and regain some health.
Yeah, that's a nasty combo there, and it's just who needs any speed when you have big enough defensive stats?
So then, let's see, next up we have Swifters with Bulbasaur. He's taking Mega Charizard Y. This is the premier Sunsetter. How much does it cost? It's 13 here. But it's so strong in its own sun is the thing. It's even better in doubles, but this thing just kind of comes in and clicks Weather Ball, and it gets boosted by the sun, so it essentially deals 50% more damage on all of its own fighter attacks.
Yeah, and it's already rocking a special attack close to 160, so you put those together and you're going to be, taking out a lot of mons in like one hit. Really, anyone who doesn't have good special defense is just out of there. Even some people, even some that do have good special defense might just be out of there.
The other thing with it is that it's paired with Great Tusk, who gets a bonus from the sun from its ability, so it pairs really nicely with that. Next up, we have Garchomp from the Tyrannical Togepi. It's another just really good mon. It can kind of do whatever. It's kind of like Great Tusk, where you can have it set rocks, and it can be a really good like sweeper in its own right.
Yeah, and Garchomp's another Pokemon that just kind of has a crazy stat block. I mean, there's not any real big weaknesses in that stat block. It's just great attack. The defenses are solid. The speed's solid enough, so you're not really going to have any issues anywhere. Anytime you can get a Pokemon with 600 base stats, it's just always going to be good. But it's also a very balanced distribution there.
Next up, we got Torkoal. So we have Mega Delphox paired with Torkoal. Torkoal is another Sunsetter, just like Mega Charizard Y. So what this allows him to do is he can set up Sun with Torkoal, then he can switch out, bring in Mega Delphox, and now with Mega Delphox's insane speed and special attack, click Fire-type moves and get the Sun bonus. It's just as strong as Mega Charizard Y, but it's like 34 points of speed faster.
Yeah, and I think this is the cheapest Pokemon we've seen anyone draft so far, just 9 points. So, but that's a very, good defenses, set your Sun, just enable the rest of the team comp without spending a lot of your budget on it.
Okay, so we have the next pick. We have an even cheaper mon. We have Indeedee.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a 6 going in the second round.
So Indeedee does the same thing that Tapu Lele does, where it sets Psychic Terrain. So I think you might be starting to see what Muffin's plan is. He's got a Weather Setter and a Terrain Setter already. So we'll see if he picks up any more of those.
Yeah, that could be a really interesting strategy there. But we're going to have to see what the actual carries are going to be around that. It's a lot of good setup here, but what's actually going to, KO Pokemon?
Yeah. So we got the next pick. We have another Terrain Setter. Tapu Fini off the board from Club Detroit and the critical misses. Not sure how this pairs. Glamora, the Mega Glamora, you could try setting up Toxic Spikes before it Megas, in which case Tapu Fini would actually counteract that. But Tapu Fini is also just a good Mon. So you can kind of play this however. We're just going to go on to the next one. They're shooting through these picks now. We have Mega Diancie. This thing is a base stat total beast. It's got 700 stats.
Wow.
And when it megas, it gets 50 more speed and 50 more attack and special attack. So it just kind of just starts ripping through teams. And it's still pretty bulky. It still has 100 in both of its defenses.
Yeah, I mean, just crazy attack and special attack numbers, though. I mean, those are what's going to drive that 16-point cost for the most part, but...
So then we got the next pick. We have Roaring Moon. I love this Pokemon. It hits hard, and it is pretty fast, too. It gets to hold a booster energy, which can raise its attack or its speed, depending on how you want to run it. So it's pretty flexible. This is also Nolly's third pick because they moved up in the second round due to their first round pick being traded. So then we have the wheel again. We got the Esper, who have picked up Iron Shreds plus Mega Meowstic. So Iron Shreds is basically the same as Great Tusk, but with a different typing. It can set rocks and get rid of them, which is really nice, while still having good stats. And then Mega Meowstic is it's just really fast, and it hits pretty hard. It's like a decent Mega. It's not going to cost you a ton. It's only 13 points, but it's going to get the job done. And then back around with the traded pick. This is going to be Para's second pick. It's going to take Terrapagos. So this thing can't Terra. But because of that, it means it costs less. So it's kind of an all-around good Pokemon. It can Rapid Spin, which means it can get rid of hazards on your side, like Stealth Rocks. Mega Starmie can also do that, so he's got 2 Rapid Spinners right now. Next up, we go back to the Rose Tower Caparaja. We're going to take Tinkaton, and this is where the picks really start flying. The more contested picks tend to be in the early rounds, and now people have gotten their Pokemon that they want from each of the rounds, and most of their picks are not contested anymore because they're going after the lower cost guys. So Tinkaton's kind of an all-around thing. It doesn't really do one thing all that well, but it does a bunch of things somewhat well. So it can kind of round out a roster however you need it to. Following that up, we have Scizor. Now this is specifically not Mega Scizor. This is normal Scizor. Mega Scizor is still on the board, but normal Scizor sometimes can be better because it doesn't have to hold a Mega Stone, which means it can hold a Choice Band, which actually makes it deal more damage so long as you're just clicking that one move. And then, let's see, we have Muffin Lumps up again. He's gotten another Terrain Setter. This time it is Fairy Terrain. So this is Misty Terrain with Galarian Weezing. He's got 2 Terrain Setters, 1 Weather Setter.
Huh.
I think you can tell what the plan is for Muffin.
You're setting all of the terrain. Just environmental setup seems to be what's happening here. But I am still... I'm still very curious what is going to be taking advantage of all of this terrain setting that Muffin Lumps is doing.
Alright, so then we have Sonic. I love this pick. He's going to take Walking Wake. So this pairs with the Torkoal really well. This is like the best thing to round out a Sun team because it gives you access to water without that water type being worsened by Sun. because Walking Wake gets a special move that is a water type move that gets boosted by Sun. And it also, while in Sun, Walking Wake's stats increase. So basically, it becomes this thing that rounds out the Sun team that shores up like the things that Sun normally can't do. And it's kind of a must-have for Draft League.
Yeah, that really covers a lot of the potential, type matchup weaknesses that committing to setting the Sun early in the draft can present to you. So just great coverage there to make sure there aren't any glaring holes in the team comp.
Mm-hmm. So we have the next pick. I'm surprised, honestly, that this is still around, but Tapu Koko is going to go off the board. So this is an electric terrain setter. So far, he doesn't have anything that really pairs with electric terrain, but a lot of those mons you can get later in the draft. They're kind of the mid-tier mons. There's a couple that have gone already. Iron Treads compare well with this. Let me see, is there anyone else who's taken? No, I think so far it's only Iron Treads that can really take advantage of this that's gone. But Tapu Koko is excellent mon. It's really fast, and it hits pretty hard because it sets up terrain that boosts the damage of its own moves. The one downside is it doesn't have good physical moves despite having a higher physical attack than special. But it still does kind of what you want it to do.
Yeah, and I mean, even with the special attack not being crazy high, when you're setting the terrain, you're still going to end up doing pretty decent damage, and you've got a lot of speed to get those moves out with, so it should still end up working out fairly well for Para and the Tongue Teddy Ursa here.
Let's see, so next up we have Bulbasaur, Swifters, taking Galarian Darmanitan. This thing is a monster, and it's really, really easy to use. I had to specifically up the cost of this Pokemon in this league, because as a league, kind of for newer players generally, this thing is too easy to use and does too much. You send it in, and it clicks buttons. It clicks the same button every single time, and in exchange, it gets a 50% attack boost. So it's always doing 50% more damage, but it can never switch which moves it takes, or it clicks. But that means that you can give it a choice, either Band or Scarf, because you don't get the drawback of the choice.
Yeah, you were going to use the same move every time anyway.
Yeah, so it's basically double choiced at all times. Next up, we have the Goobier Galurk. We're taking Palafin. Palafin looks pretty unassuming until it switches back in. So if you are unaware, Palafin, when it switches out, changes into 0 to hero form, and its base stats shoot up like 170 or something. And it turns from like 70 attack into, I want to say 160.
Yeah,
it
so
also gets
your stat total
unique
jumps 193 when you sub it out and sub it back in.
So it's kind of gross in that sense that it basically becomes a legendary Pokemon once you can sub it back out. And it gets a unique move that is a priority move. It's like Aqua Jet, but 50% stronger, combined with the fact that it's also hitting like a truck in the first place.
Yeah,
means this thing is really strong, and you can't like outspeed it if you want to, because it will use a priority move on you.
Yeah, combining a priority move with 160 base attack is going to do crazy work.
So next up we have another Pokemon that is like very similar to Galarian Darmanitan, and that's Dracovish. Because this thing's only clicking one move ever, and that's Vicious Rend. So this thing, usually you put a Scarf on it.
I think we skipped I think we skipped the Sneasler pick.
Oh, we did. We skipped Sneasler, sorry. The Impidimp are going to take Sneasler. Sneasler has moved Dire Claw, which basically makes it relevant. And it can do like 3 different things to you. It has a chance of lowering your defense, I want to say, putting you to sleep, paralyzing you, or poisoning you. I forget exactly. Maybe it's a flinch too. I forget all of what it does, but it's just like the most RNG move. And then Sneasler has good stats to take advantage of it. The next up is Dracovish, which is just Vicious Rend all day. Basically, what Vicious Rend does is it's a biting move that has 85 base power, and it says if you move before your opponent, this move deals double damage. The thing with Dracovish is it also has an ability that says biting moves deal 1.5 times damage. So Vicious Rend becomes tripled in damage if used by Dracovish when it goes first.
Yeah,
So as long as it goes first, it's one-shotting everything in front of it. Next up, we have the wheel. So the first pick of the wheel is in, which is Dragapult. Dragapult has gone round 1, pick 1 before. I'm surprised that it's the end of the 3rd round before we finally see it go.
Yeah, that 19 point cost on Dragapult probably driving some people away. Want to try to look for other lines to build around, and I mean, if you're taking something that's 19, you probably are setting up to build your team around that.
Yeah. The next pick also by Shagster is Gyarados. So he picks up a 3rd Dragon Dancer, interestingly enough. However, this one has a little more defensive utility as it can intimidate. So it's a good switch in. I made it to finals with Gyarados. It's a really good mon. Coming back around, we have Kartana. This thing, it's an Ultra Beast, which means when it knocks Pokemon out, its highest stat gets a raise, which means its attack stat, because it's got like 170 attack.
All right.
And I don't remember exactly what its speed is. I believe it's 108 or 109. I want to say 109. It's tied with the Alolan Ninetales. So it's really fast, too. So if you let it get going, you're just toast. It will just sweep you and knock out every Pokemon on your team. Teams with Kartana are usually built to win with Kartana.
Yeah. We're having a bit of technical issues on the production side of things. So I will not... the picks are not showing up on the stream right now. If you want to keep going without the graphics, I will try to get this fixed in the background here.
I think I see what happened. Let's see if that fixes it.
All right. Yep, that fixed it.
Okay. There was a misspelled mon.
Yeah, that would kill it. So now we've got Gyarados. And we can start showing the rest of these. So we had Kartana. Did we get past Kartana already?
Yeah, so now we're on Primarina. Primarina is a
Wonderful.
especially defensive mon. It has a good typing as well. And it does more than like what its base stats would show. It doesn't look too powerful initially, but once you have to play against it, it's bulkier than it looks, and it can hit back pretty well.
Yeah, I am. I'm the type of player who likes to just look at base stats and play for that because I'm bad at Pokemon. But I'll have to take your word that it's the base stats are an illusion. The base stats, they never lead me wrong.
Okay, so next up we have Excadrill. This is another Pokemon kind of like Great Tusk, where it will clear all of your hazards for you while still being good. Usually it's brought on sand teams though, and it did not go to Shagster, who looks to be making a sand team. So kind of an interesting pick here for Skycer, not pairing it up like that. But it's still good, like even without that. So let's see, where are we? We got, okay. Picks are really coming in. Now we have Bulbasaur taking Raging Bolt. This thing is kind of similar to King Gambit in that it has a really powerful like Sucker Punch type move that's unique to it. So it can turn the game into a mind game, but instead of kind of setting up at the end, it can pivot in and out because it's really bulky and has a really good type. So it comes into play before King Gambit does. So it doesn't just sit there until the end. Next up, we have Corviknight. I love Corviknight. I think this mon's so good. This is another mon where the stats lie. This is better than its base stats say it is. The base stats, I don't think it has a stat over 100, but because of its typing and move pool, it's really, really bulky. And it switches in on things you need it to.
Yeah. And it does have one stat over 100. Its defense is 105, but
105. Okay,
yeah,
so
but
barely
just
over,
barely.
yeah.
The stat total's not crazy, but I mean, it's still that flying steel type. It's gonna be hard to punch out, and it's also just really cool. I think this is what I build teams around in Pokemon. I think Corviknight's really cool.
I love the design of it. I like using this mon in on the ladder. I think it's really, if you're really good with it, you can get a lot of use out of it. It's so hard to knock out if you use it correctly.
Yeah.
It'll be like the last thing alive on your team very often, and then win from that position.
You love to see that.
Let's see. Next up, we have Landorus Therian. Kind of known as like the GOAT of Pokemon for a while until Incineroar came in. The GOAT of VGC. It's just kind of the all-around great utility mon. It can do what you need it to do. Like you can set rocks with it. You can use it defensively, or you can just say go kill stuff, and it will do that. It has like 145 attack or something. It has Intimidate, so it lowers the opposing Pokemon's attack when it comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, and that Therian form's also got a really pretty obnoxious typing, if I'm seeing this correctly.
Yep, ground flying is really hard to deal with. It's the same reason why Gliscor is so tough to deal with.
Yeah, so
next up, we got Ninetales from Muffin's team. So he's got 2 weather setters and 2 terrain setters. Not much to go off there. I think we'll wait and see how the team looks at the end, because I don't think it's complete yet.
Yeah.
Then we have the other Urshifu coming in for the critical misses. Another water type. This team, though, it has a lot of priority moves and a lot of speed, basically, because of it, even though the Pokemon themselves are not actually all that fast. We have the next pick as well. We have Pekarunt. So Pekarunt is pretty new. When we first started doing this, Pekarunt was kind of hard to deal with. If you don't know how to deal with it, it's really hard to get rid of, because it has like 160 defense. So if you don't have the right thing, it's like impossible to get rid of.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right.
Next up, we have Nolly taking Mega Lopunny. So their Mega is off the board. Funnily enough, Mega Lopunny likes to use Fake Out, which can't be used, well, if Tapu Lele has set up Psychic Terrain. A little bit of a non-bow, but you can also just use it as a fast physical attacker because it's really fast and hits really hard. And then we have the wheel again, so we're almost about halfway. Gelidirge plus Alomomola coming in from the San Antonio Esper. This is kind of the making of a defensive core. This is a bulky fire type and a bulky water type that both provide different defensive utility. Skeledirge makes it so that people can't set up on you, while Alomomola has Regenerator, so it keeps gaining HP throughout the battle. Then back around, we have Sinistcha. Kind of a low point mon, but it has a lot of uses in singles. And doubles, this thing's a menace.
I think someone put in a Pokemon name wrong again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, every time that happens, it does kind of just kill the prod.
No. Let's see.
All right, we appear to be back.
Okay, looks like it's fixed. Let's see. So Sinistra, yeah, Sinistra. This thing has a really good ability that makes it take less damage from fire type moves, which doesn't sound like all that much until you realize that it's typing. It means it only has a few weaknesses, and the one thing that you'd really like to do a lot of the times is actually hit it with fire type moves. And so it can set up on fire type Pokemon, making it really hard to actually deal with unless you have a dark type, because it can beat other ghosts. So you kind of need like a special attacking dark type, but it can also set up with Calm Mind to beat your special attackers. So it's really annoying to deal with. Then we have Entei from the Rose Tower Caparaja. This is kind of a very straightforward mon. You a lot of times just give it a choice band and tell it to click its signature move, Sacred Fire. It has a 50% chance to burn after doing that. So it's just very one-dimensional, but it's good at what it does. Then we have Rillaboom.
I love to see Entei. That's my childhood.
Rillaboom. This is an excellent pick. This helps Mega Glamora a lot. And now you have two different terrain. That's kind of interesting. But this sets up grassy terrain, which halves the damage of Earthquake specifically, meaning Mega Glamora having a 4 times weakness to Earthquake, it's halved. So it can probably live in Earthquake now, if grassy terrain is set up.
Well, it's huge.
Then we have Muffin's team taking their Mega Raichu X, also known as the cooler one, according to Muffin. So this is electric terrain accounted for. All right.
So is the strategy here to just set terrain constantly?
Yeah, and weather. Don't forget about weather.
Can't forget about weather. That's my bad, really. Yeah, everything in this comp for Muffin is either setting terrain or weather, so constantly trying to set that up.
Let's see. We got 2 more picks coming in quick. Hisuian Lilligant for Sonic's team, the Purple Palma. This is another Pokemon that works well in Sun. Sonic has hard committed to Sun. And he's got Fire type, obviously, because he's got Sun. He's got the Water type in Walking Wake, and now he has a Grass type that goes well in Sun. So he's got a good core. I like how Sonic has done his team a lot. He's done a really good job so far. Then we have Zygarde 50%. So this thing is a legendary Pokemon. So it has, I think, 600 some base stat total. But because of its like moveset and stuff, it's not as good as most. But it's still a legendary Pokemon. It still has all those stats, and you can't disrespect it, otherwise you will lose to it. Let's see. Next up we have, from Bulbasun, we have Dondozo. I am a big Dondozo fan. I love using this thing. It's one of my mons that I will always bring out whenever I have the chance. I've taken it in other draft leagues. I take it on the ladder. I got my peak on the OU ladder this year, or this season, I should say, of Pokemon with Dondozo. It's so bulky, and you cannot set up on it because it has the ability Unaware. Then we have Tyranitar. Normal Tyranitar. So now he's paired. Sonic has paired Excadrill with Tyranitar, which is what you want to do. Excuse me. Those do always go together, basically, because Tyranitar sets sand, and then Excadrill gets double speed while in sand. So we have 2 sand teams. Mega Tyranitar and Tyranitar are both in play. Next up, we got Nash, the Iceland Impidimp, taking a Rotom form. The first Rotom Heat, is off the board. The fire one. It's a good bulky mon. It's one of the best Rotoms. It can burn them. It can Thunder Wave. It can Volt Switch. It's kind of a good utility mon, and its base stats lie a little bit. It's better than it looks. We have Panini and TC on the board. They're going to take another Ultra Beast in Nihilego. Nihilego got a lot better thanks to the addition of an item called the move that uses the item Power Herb, Meteor Beam, which basically it's a 2-turn move that raises your special attack, but with Power Herb, it becomes a 1-turn move. So it raises its special attack and hits on the same turn, and it's a rock type, so it gets extra damage. And it's got like 140 special attack or something ridiculous.
Yep.
And then let's see, we got the wheel again. So we have Superior followed by Infernape.
Start with Superior.
So this is the first finished starting roster. Firewater Grass Core with Gyarados, Superior, Infernape. 3 Mons, 2 of them can pivot really well. Superior can kind of set up a little bit if you let it. It's another contrary Pokemon. And then that brings around my boy, Alolan Ninetales. I drafted this thing in the first 2 seasons of the league, and I went to the finals both times with it. I've banned myself from taking this Pokemon because it's just I do too well with it. It's not fun. I gotta try other strategies. It sets hail, well now snow, and then clicks a move called Aurora Veil, which is like Light Screen and Reflect in one, but it only works if there's if it's snowing. And snowing got a buff this year, or with this generation. It no longer does damage like hail does, but instead raises the defense of all your ice types. So Alolan Ninetales became a lot bulkier and became a lot stronger when that happened. We've actually caught up to the picks. We were like 5 picks behind, but they've slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised.
We have the Impidimp up next. So this is there's 2 teams that are complete now. Everyone's going to be completing their starting core here.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we caught up to the picks. Because at this point, I mean, there's 2 sand teams, but for the most part, I imagine most people aren't super contesting each other. But with the picks slowing down, making some mid-draft pivots potentially.
So we have Forretress up next. Only 6 points, so this will probably be one of Nash's freebies, because he still has 32 points to work with, basically. Forretress is it's a spinner, so it can get rid of the hazards, and it can set them. It's very one-dimensional. It does that and about nothing else. It's there to get rid of hazards for your team.
Well, I mean, it's a 6-point Mon. You're not expecting the world there. And it has a good defense stat as well. So you can, just get out there, get those hazards set without necessarily dying itself. So it's better than nothing.
Let's see. Next we have Moltres Galarian version. So Moltres Galar is a very high skill Pokemon. If you can play around its ability of Berserk, which raises its special attack when it falls below 50%, you can actually proc Berserk multiple times by getting it above 50%. So if you give it something like a berry to eat and it gets back up to 60 and then goes down below it again, it'll get the boost twice.
Oh, that stacks with
so,
itself.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
So it makes it really, really high skill to use, I think. It's if you set up properly too, you can start making it have ridiculous special attack. So I like the pick. It's a good Mon. Another dark type for his team. He's got 2 dark types.
Yeah. That starting base special attack though isn't too insane. So
but once you get the boost, it becomes crazy. Let's start getting boost together. So speaking of high skill Mons, Screamtail is next up from Bulbasaur. This is like a really hard to use Pokemon because it does no damage. It just doesn't hit anything very hard at all, but it has like all the utility in the world, and a really good bulk. And then let's see, we have Mega Clefable. So Mega Clefable is just worse than Clefable. Unfortunately,
that's really funny. How did this happen?
So it's got better stats and whatnot, but Clefable has kind of the intangibles of being able to hold a held item and having better abilities, and it has better abilities than Mega Clefable.
Yeah.
I think Mega Clefable gets Magic Bounce, which is a good ability in its own right, but it's not the same as Magic Guard or Unaware, and the fact that Clefable can kind of switch between those means you don't know what Clefable brings. But Mega Clefable, you know what it's going to do, right? The higher stats don't really matter that much for it, but maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this thing's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, it is 3 points cheaper than Clefable on the board, so the points distribution does agree with you that Clefable is going to be the better mon.
Like Clefable's probably worse than a Mega Clefable but Mega Clefable costs you your Mega slot, so it's just worse.
Mhm.
And then we have Pawmot. So Pawmot it's one of 2 Pokemon that can revive a fainted ally. It was added this generation. There's only 2 of them. This one is significantly better than the other one.
Wait, the purple Pawmot drafted Pawmot.
Yeah, shocker.
This is
I know.
perfect.
No one expected that.
I love this. This makes me very happy.
Okay, let's see. We got another terrain. This is Grassy Terrain from Tapu Bulu on Muffin's team. So he's got all 4 terrains now, I think. So he just needs 2 weathers.
I'm starting to understand where the team name came from.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Next up, we have the critical misses. They're going to take another Rotom form. Rotom Wash. The other really good Rotom. There's 2 good Rotoms, Fire and Water. Rotom Wash costs more by 2 points. They're roughly similar. They do very similar things. Hydro Pump's just a little bit better than what Rotom Fire gets. But it gets, other than that, they get the same move pool. Then we have Seismitoad. So Seismitoad's an interesting pick. 8 points. Might be a freebie.
Yeah.
It gets Water Absorb, which is really nice. So you're just never scared of Dracovish, for example. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is. Maybe it could be Stealth Rock Setter. It is just a kind of decent defensive pivot, though. Next up, we have Glow King. Glow King is also known as Galarian Slow King. It's like Slow King, but better in singles and worse in doubles. But its typing is excellent. It has won the league before. It always does well. I think it won the league the first 2 seasons. I want to say something like that. Was it on my team? Maybe it was in finals. I don't remember. It's nuts. Having the ability to have Regenerator on it just means it gets to regain HP throughout the battle, which is one of the best abilities in the game. Then we have another Regenerator. And then a Pokemon that has already been drafted. So I think they're going to retry that one. But they're going to take Hydrapple. I'm very high on Hydrapple. I think 11 points, it's also kind of a steal. Regenerator and a really good type, so long as you don't hit by Ice Beam.
Yeah, those Regenerators are always going to be pretty good.
So, Owen has tried to take Gyarados.
Oh,
However, Gyarados is on Shagster's team, so they will not be allowed to do that. We will not have stealing.
Oh, there we go.
your mic was sounding very robotic for a second, but I think it's good now.
So Cone's going to get their other pick in, so they figure that one out. But that finishes up the starting rosters. Hydrapple means that Cone's kind of defensive core of Skeledirge, Alomomola, and Hydrapple, the Fire, Water, Grass core, that is a really safe build around. It's complete. That is going to be really hard to break. That's 2 Regenerators and an Unaware Pokemon. And then to knock stuff out, you have Urshifu and Mega Meowstic. And then Iron Treads can get rid of the hazards. So I think it's one of the really balanced teams so far. The other team I really like so far is Sonic's team. I think he's done a good job just getting all of the good Sun Pokemon. He's been uncontested. Really, there's a Mega Charizard Y in play, but only a couple Sun Pokemon over there have been drafted. Sonic's kind of got some of the good ones. So instead of Gyarados, we're going to see Mega Gyarados. So that's the first time I've allowed it this season with being able to draft 2 Megas. And so it looks like Cone's going to be the first one to do that. Instead of Mega Meowstic, he can go with Mega Gyarados now.
An interesting pivot.
Kind of a good setup mon. It's gotten to the finals before in this league on my team. It's really, really bulky and hits really hard, and if it gets set up, it's just over. It can also break through unaware Pokemon, like, for example, Skeledirge. So picking it kind of gets rid of one of the biggest like counters to your team and just gets it out of there.
Yeah.
Then we have normal Chestnut, not Mega Chestnut, normal Chestnut from the Togepi. Probably going to be one of their freebie picks. They just have so much money to work with. They can't possibly burn it all. They still have 52 more for their final 2 picks. So.
Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, there's no way.
How
did that happen? All right. Yeah, 52.
No, that's not right. What's going on?
Sound real. Wait, that's not the number I'm seeing.
Uh-oh, something's up with the... Oh well, we will figure it out.
Yeah, 52 left. I'm seeing 52 on the spreadsheet as well, but on the draft prod, I've got a points remaining things, and that shows that they have used all of their points.
Okay, yeah, well...
And I think that is more
we'll ignore the sheet for now. Chestnut, basically a defensive wall. It's got a good typing too. Next up we have Mesprit.
All right. I mean, nice legendary psychic type coming in at only 8 points. Very balanced stat block on that as well. Just a lot of stats right around 100.
Yeah, it's basically it's just this all around guy. Next up we have Thunderous Therian.
Why do I feel like... Alright. Nah, never mind. Yes.
Yeah, Thunderous Therian hits really hard, really fast, decent point value. We have another Mega from Wars team, Warren Muffin, Mega Frostlass, so that gets rid of Hail. They've got Hail now too. So they just need one more. They just need Sand. And they've got all of them. Then from the Palma, we have Zarude. Another Pokemon that can be used in Sun, doesn't really have to. Then, let's see, the picks are really coming in. Next up, we have Parataking Scolipede. Not the Mega. The Mega Scolipede is awful. I think it's the cheapest of the new Megas. I think it's like 3 points. Really bad.
3-point Mega.
It's just so much worse than its base form. And then we have Amoonguss. I hate this mon with a burning passion. It's not as bad to deal with in singles, but it's so annoying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the effect spore ability, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's got Regenerator actually. It gets access to the move Spore, which is 100% accurate, puts them to sleep.
That is incredible.
Which is why it's really annoying. Yeah. At least in singles, there's Sleep Clause, so you can't put more than one thing to sleep. That doesn't exist in doubles.
Oh.
You can start putting everything to sleep in doubles, which is why it's a maximum point mon. We then have the Mega Golurk, who are going to pick up Jellicent. Jellicent is kind of this bulky water type that there's a bunch of them, and you can just kind of pick which one you want, and they'll do what it wants to do. Water is a good defensive typing. This means that your Tyranitar can switch into Jellicent to avoid fighting type moves now. And then we have the Impidimp are up.
It does not
I'm going to quick see if I can figure out what is wrong with Nolly's sheet. I think it's only happening to Nolly. I don't know why.
Huh.
Actually, maybe there's a couple of them that it's not working for.
Oh no.
Huh. I don't know why. Oh, you know what I bet it is? I bet it's not able to detect duplicates. Nolly has 3 Pokemon that all cost 15. And 2 that cost 7. So if we just look at 17 and 16, that's what it's doing. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Um,
So this is probably only affecting. There's a couple
it's
of
only
teams that this
oh
will be
gosh.
affecting.
Okay.
Then yeah,
So
because
anyone who has duplicates, it's causing them to do that. Huh. Which is why it was doing it for a couple other teams too. Well, we will figure it out later. Well, maybe we can figure it out now.
The draft page actually can tell you how many points you have left, so.
Well, that's good.
The draft page is doing the math decent. So according to my draft prod page, the next pickup, Iceland Impidimp, have 3 points remaining. But this page also can't take into account the fact that you've got freebie picks.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing on my side, I see teams going into the negatives. And I don't have a way to.
Well, we got the next pick in.
Work around that.
The Impidimp are going to take Wheezing. Nice little 7-point mon. This is a physical wall. Good typing, and it negates its weakness to ground through its ability to levitate. So it's really, really good defensive Pokemon for only 7 points. Followed by Cloyster. So I'm seeing Ninetales plus Cloyster is you can set a Aurora Veil and then bring your Cloyster in, which gets boost to its defense through not only Snow, but the Aurora Veil, and then set up using Shell Smash as kind of a win condition.
And the defense from Cloyster already starts really high. So when you start boosting that there, it's going to end up being pretty crazy.
And then we have Shagster, who has Melodic, followed by Electivire. So that gets rid of one of the freebies, most likely an Electivire. But Melodic is kind of another one of those bulky water types that's really good defensively. Another 11-pointer, so unfortunately it's going to bug the sheet again. But guys, if you're in call and watching this, make sure you have you're keeping track of your own cost, because the sheet can't. Okay, and then we have, oh my gosh, the TC team, Panini and TC, have taken Whimsicott. They've taken my 2 favorite Pokemon, Alolan Ninetales and Whimsicott, together on a team. I hope this team wins. Whimsicott basically is really annoying. What it can do is it can Subseed is what the strategy is called, where it clicks Leech Seed, which drains the opponent for 1/8 of their HP each turn and lets you heal it back. And click the move Substitute, which uses 25% of your HP to make a substitute that they have to use a move to break. And then it clicks Protect, and because of its ability, it always goes first. So once you get the seeds up, you click Substitute and Protect forever, and they can't do anything about it unless they have a move that hits multiple times. We then have Venusaur coming in from the Impidimp.
Only like the second Gen 1 Pokemon we've drafted.
Yeah, there's a. I mean, Weezing's Gen 1 also.
Oh, yeah.
We got 2 on that team, but yeah, not a lot of Gen 1s. That tends to happen. Most of them are not as good anymore. Cloyster's Gen 1. There you go.
Consider that I'm old and I want the old Pokemon to get playtime. I had Pokemon Yellow as a kid, okay?
Let's see. We got Iron Crown up next. Let's see. What does this do on this team? It's another good defensive pivot. Gives them access to Psychic, which is not bad considering what they've got so far. We have only a few picks left. Let's see. We've got 20 picks left in the singles draft, and then we'll move on to doubles. Looks like we're going to probably finish maybe around 9:15-ish is my guess.
Me?
If it goes too long, War said he can take over for you because I know you have a Aurora match to get to, or Scrim, something
I have a
along those
match.
lines.
I have a match, yeah.
Match. Who's up next? I think. Oh, Bulbasaur. I think their pick got stolen. I think they wanted Venusaur, so they're probably trying to figure out what to do. Let me see if I can figure out the problem with the sheet. So I need my filter. I need it to. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, well, anyway. Bulbasaur has got their pick in anyway, and they're going to combine Amoonguss with Brute Bonnet, which is its Paradox version.
That's evil.
Yeah. They can both click Spore.
just diabolical.
It also works in Sun. However, it was specifically its stats are exactly enough where if you give it maximum speed and minimum all its other stats, it will not get the photosynthesis boots to its speed, so you can never have it gain speed well in Sun to just click Spore every turn. Thank goodness. Then we have a bunch of picks in a row. We have Bisharp, which is the unevolved form of King Gambit. Does not get access to its ability. Followed by
good.
Goldango. And then Hippowdon. So that is all of the weather types for the Muffin Lumps team.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I have a guess as to what their last pick's going to be. Then let's see, the critical misses are going to pick up Armor Rouge. Pokemon that works really well with Tapu Lele. I wonder if the Togepi were looking at that one at all. Then we have another Rotom form. Rotom Mo. This is the grass one. Not as good as its fire and water brothers, but still probably the third best one. It can be like its typing is worse and Leaf Storm is worse. But it basically just does the same thing that all the other Rotoms do. It's just that grass is a worse defensive typing than like water is. And it's a worse offensive typing than fire.
Yeah, so just not accomplishing quite as much. But that's why it's cheaper.
Okay, then let's see. We've got Nolly taking Overquill. Oops, maybe I could spell it right. Overcool. This thing, another defensive wall. It. I think it has intimidate and access to other stuff, but it can also do some weird stuff with its unique move. That can be really annoying to play against. So then we have the wheel here with cone, and this will be the last round. And
See what everyone decides to finish this draft up with.
we got Nidoking followed by Xurkitree. Okay, well now the sheet's like doing. I don't know what's causing it, but
He's dead. It's tragic.
yeah, I think it's treating the ties as one. So now that I broke the tie, the bottom three, the third to bottom one is no longer 11. It can do it properly. Xurkitree and Nidoking. Nidoking is kind of a one-trick pony in that you almost always just give it a life orb to combine with its ability Sheer Force. Whereas Xurkitree usually wants a Choice Scarf because it's kind of slow, but it has a 173 special attack or something. Just it's a really glassy cannon. Then we have Magnezone. Magnezone has a trapping ability, and the sheet doesn't like that it's another 7-point mon, but I know Nolly's team is done here. It's a trapping ability, but only for steel types.
Interesting.
Then we have Rabombi, another 8-point mon. The sheet doesn't like that. There's 4 7s on Nolly's team and 4 8s on the Cherry Mancake's team. Rabombi's an excellent mon to get in the last round because it can set Sticky Web while being really fast, so it's a really good lead. Sticky Web is a hazard that instead of dealing damage, lowers their speed.
Yeah, that's really
someone
good
has
to
tried to
lead
take
with.
another player's Pokemon again. That's not allowed. I'm trying to pick up a Pokemon that was taken in the 3rd round.
It would be crazy if you could just grab a 3rd round in the 9th, but
They're trying to take a 5th round pick. No. Anyway, we will get back to it because the next pick is in for the Muffin team. And no one's going to steal this. It's a 1-point mon. It's Cast Form.
So how does this work?
Cast Form changes its type based on the weather.
Yeah. Okay, I can see the vision. So your cast form is just you can essentially access every form of cast form here. But is cast form good at that point?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But it's funny.
Oh no. We did it for the meme. I honestly respect that so much. Oh, that's beautiful. So we've got the cast form pick in.
So I knew this draft plan already. The other thing is with all the terrain types, you can use a move called Terrain Pulse, which will change type depending on the terrain. So you can give Terrain Pulse to like most Pokemon. So I think everything on their team is gonna have Terrain Pulse.
Oh, okay. So that's actually kind of good.
No,
Oh,
but it's
nope. Oh, okay. I thought that would be useful, potentially. I'm
it's
trying to give them some credit.
Muffin is known for drafting these kind of teams. So where is the next pick in? I can't tell.
We do still at some point need to go back for the previous pick.
Okay, so the next one is in. We'll just talk about that. It's Mega. Uh-oh. Mega Electros, and for whatever reason, the cell doesn't like that. Uh-oh,
Oh no.
something is up.
The sheet is not having a good time.
Oh, there was an extra space. There we go. Mega Electros. Assuming no one takes this pick. So it gets like a unique ability. I haven't looked into it too much. That basically combines Levitate with other things to make it so that it's immune to ground type moves and gives it a boost to its stats. And then we have Cobalion from the critical misses. So this is the pick that got screwed up. This is it's a steel type with really good defensive stats. So it's kind of just this it's this wall. It can pivot a little bit, but it's not really there to get KOs. It's there to take up a physical move and then hit back decently hard.
Ooh. I'm back into a
So
runtime errors loop. There might be a typo somewhere.
so I know. Let's try that.
Let's see. That worked. Nope, I lied. I'm a liar. I'm sorry.
So there was an extra space in the Mega Electros. So I wonder if that was causing the issue.
We'll see. I'm still getting it. We'll see.
Let's see. Does this work?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, next pick is up. It is
Yeah, we'll just keep going without prod for a second.
it's a Roulege from Tung Tung Teddiursa. So that finishes off their team. This gives them an answer to Sun. It gets Flash Fire, so it can absorb all the fire type moves. And then we have Low Kicks. Low Kicks. This is just the premier revenge killer. It makes it so its ability makes it so that it does full damage if it would be not very effective instead. So like it doesn't care what type you are, it's just gonna hit you. And it gets a priority move on the turn it switches in. Then we have Cresselia from the Goobier Mega Golurk. Cresselia is one of the bulkiest Pokemon around because it can also raise its defenses and get access to really good healing moves while being immune to ground. So it has like, I don't know, 120 defenses of each with decent HP. And it actually has decent speed, whereas a lot of really bulky Pokemon aren't fast. So it can outspeed things and then start setting up its defenses on them.
The prod side of the
Then we
world
have
is back.
the Impidimp adding another ground immunity. So they have 4 ground immunities on this team. Latios, Rotom Heat, Weezing, and Orthworm. So I guess you're just not trying to lose to ground type if you're Nash. We got 2 picks left. We have Samurott Darnold and then Shagster.
And then we'll be moving right into the doubles draft.
Yeah. Will you want to head out then and we can grab War?
Probably should swap me out for War at that.
Yeah, that'll be easiest to do.
I think that's
Took a
the best
little
solution.
longer than I would hope, but all right, here we go. We have the final 2 picks. We have Metagross.
Oh, I
And
love
then finally,
Metagross.
Mega Malamar. I love Malamar. I was so excited when this guy got a Mega, and then I was really disappointed when I found out that his Mega is really bad. But it's a funny Mega. I like it a lot.
And at this point, why not take funny megas? It's the last pick of the
Yeah,
draft.
you already have your main Mega. It's whatever.
Yeah. So just throw out
Um,
a little 4-point Mega Malamar in
so
there.
looking at the draft, I'm
Yeah.
looking at these teams. I really like Sonic's team. Having a weather team is always really easy to have as a starting point.
Yeah.
Um, I also think Pear's team looks really good. He's got a lot of different like things going on with the team. Um, a lot of good mons that are good on defense and offense. Um, let's see what else looks good. I think Cone's team looks impossible to break through with Skeledirge, Alomomola, Hydrapple. That's a really annoying core to try and deal with. But
I
it's not
think
going to have much speed.
yeah, I think Muffin's team is really funny.
Uh-huh.
I
I
lo-
would agree.
I love the gimmick. I love the commitment to the bit. We'll
He's
see.
got 45 points left over.
We'll see how many point. We'll see how Muffin does in terms of actually winning, but in terms of bit commitment to the bit, 10 out of 10.
Okay. So, we figured out the Mega Electros problem. Cool. We're all set.
Yep. All right. I think the stream is going to send to a quick break right now while we try to figure out the production plan for the doubles side of things, but we will be back in just a moment.